Welcome to the Friday Sex Podcast. This has taken us 4 tries to get
It's fine. It's going
cameras and mics. Guys, you know, with everything with us, and it's like, it's even, I know we're talking about sex, but just with everything that we do.
I know we're talking about sex.
You guys bearing with us, even on our sexual escapades, but everything, just you've been going through this journey with us. It's not like we were behind the scenes, like figuring something out for a year, and then we came out with perfection. And that's like everything in our lives, everything we do. I mean, including motherhood and our business and our sex lives. And just thanks for being on this journey with us.
Thank you for coming into our bedrooms on Fridays. We really do appreciate it.
And we do have something coming up, which is going to be really fun, which is the option for bonus episodes, boner episodes, and also ad-free. So just
imagine if we could call it boner episodes. I would love to get a boner. I would love to try it. I'd love to see what it feels like. I would love to know I would love a boner just once in my life to see.
You could like really, I know, just to see, because it's sort of like childbirth. The only way you'll know it is to feel it.
Yeah. And there's no boner simulation. Like there's no way I can imagine how I would love to know. Okay, here's a question.
Maybe it's like, I think the closest thing would be crotch rockets.
I just imagine this, okay? Mm-hmm. You're driving along and you think of something like sexual. Mm-hmm. And just all of a sudden, this thing in your pants rises out of nowhere. And it's such a clear indicator. Her face right now is like disgusting. It's such a clear indication. It's like, it's not fair that it's such a big reminder that they're horny, because women don't have this thing that is like actually fills up and then has to be released. Where men have this thing where it like actually blows up. And then,
but it doesn't have to be released.
No, I'm just saying that it's a very big reminder that I am horny. Where females could basically be in surgery and not have if you
could be at a funeral and get horny and no one would know.
If you're in surgery as a doctor and get a boner, you're fucked. But as a female, you would never know. I don't know what you think about in surgery, but I'm assuming it's not, you don't get a boner, but I'm just, for sure doctors got a boner.
Unless your fetish is like open the insides of bodies and stuff.
But they're in scrubs. Yeah, you get a boner. No. So my guess, the thing is the connection and the reminder of your horn is so massive.
Yeah. Well, you know what? If that's the one thing that's shitty for them.
I don't think it's shitty for them. I think that's why it
would be embarrassing.
I think that's why
all the nurses saw you getting a boner during surgery.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would suck.
Yeah. But I guess they're so close operating that you don't.
It doesn't have to be a doctor. It could be anywhere.
Dentist.
It could be at basketball practice, because those basketball shorts are so like loose.
And they can actually keep it under control, that boner, or no?
I don't.
Or is it just a free for all? Like it's just like with age, I wonder if you can control your boner as you get older.
I'm pretty sure our husbands can control their boners.
I think they just know how to hide them better.
I'm pretty sure if my husband sees something really sexy and he's sitting with his mother, that he's not going to get a semi.
Oh, we should find out.
I don't know.
Hey, babe, if you're sitting with your mom and something sexy walks along, what if you're at a family dinner and you have orgasm balls in you and they've got the remote? Do they get a boner?
Oh, orgasm balls.
100%. He's getting a boner at the dinner table.
Maybe don't do that at the family dinner. Maybe like at a dark restaurant somewhere. Yeah, that's like, that we were looking outside. Teddy and I were walking the dog, and we saw this couple like making out so hardcore in the cemetery. Then Mark came home and he's like, "Hey, there's these people making out outside." And I was like, "How can he continue walking? Like it is like a hot makeout. Like now, does he have a boner?"
Yes, 1000%.
Pools. Everyone who's cuddling in pools. When you're on vacation, the girl is like wrapping her legs around him. Like, yeah. Boner. Remember we saw that when we were in LA?
Yeah. Oh, there was a good time. Well, first of all, I was going to say that I saw that on the bench too on my street, the neighborhood. Remember they were having coffee?
Yeah.
And they were like on top of each other, like dry humping at the stop sign. I'm like, that is fascinating that you're...
Fascinating. And grown-ups, like real grown-ups.
Yeah, but when you are in the moment... You don't think that anyone's like, you don't care that anyone's watching you. You just don't care. You're like, I am so like, you're borderline, hand jobbing and fingering each other without caring, even though everyone can watch. So I had the 4 kids on vacation. I took Nat's daughter with me. And
did anything sexy happen?
Yes. Oh. So there's this 2 things. This woman on the beach with like white hair, okay, blonde white hair. And
give us an age.
Was very hard to see because she was bent over him the whole time. Like her face, her hair was covered by her face, and she was in a red string bikini up her ass. So it was like a bright
So
red.
she's not 74.
No, maybe 40.
Okay.
Maybe younger, but like a Pam Anderson bathing suit with like red, like tiny, like, bikinis, bathing suits these days, like mine were full coverage. If you saw on Instagram, those were considered full coverage. Today, bathing suits are ass out. It's just, you put your ass
and you know what?
out.
You just stop picking the wedge and let the cheek out.
And the resort I was at had a lot of people from Colombia. It was a huge Colombian, like demographic of people that from Colombia.
Tourists.
Yeah, tourists like on vacation from Colombia at the resort. So even more so, like very body liberal for the people at the resort, which I feel like might be like Spanish, Colombian. I don't know, but
I heard Colombia
is wild.
No, but what were their bodies like?
A giant, beautiful boobs with a bikini. The size, like I couldn't even believe this. The fabric was keeping their breasts in, and they were real, and they had kids, and there was
real
like
boobs,
giant, like
because Colombia is known for their
surgery.
Like nobody doesn't do cosmetic surgery.
Oh, so maybe you know me, I'm oblivious to shit, but they looked real because
they
were
jiggle around.
Yeah, so I mean, lots of boobs, lots of ass, like beautiful, which was interesting too because lots of beautiful asses and boobies everywhere because of I don't know why. Let's just say that there was no one. I think also it's just a confidence when you walk around, not shy, like not embarrassed, not shy, not uncomfortable. You look beautiful. I don't even.
Yeah, you're so right.
Like, I'm just trying to think I was thinking at that resort, I'm like, this is a very interesting resort because everyone was walking around like there was it was a very different vibe than, let's say, you go to the beach in Toronto. Like, it was just like liberal, free, like, fuck it. This is who I am.
Like when I went to the Bahamas and there was mostly American guests, less.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. So very sexy vibe, very hot, right? So lots of no clothing. So she's on the beach. There's lots of beach chairs, and these two, the guy's like flat out lying on his back, and he's in a black bathing suit, and she is on top of him, and you can't even see their faces. The kids are just like watching the shit out of this, and she's like, can they breathe? Like, is he getting CPR? Like, because it looked like they were doing CPR because
they were making out.
Oh, like dry humping, like on top of each other in the middle of the beach.
Did you ever see them again, like at dinner and stuff?
Not that I recall, but they were around, but just maybe had clothes on, so they weren't as recognizable,
right?
And the kids were kind of like, aren't they embarrassed? And I was like, not really. They're not really thinking about it because they're sexually enthralled with each other right now. And they're just having a great time on the beach. They were there for a long time.
Were you in the same room as Chloe and Max?
Like it was like one room, then like a living room, dining room, second room, like connected,
yes,
but not,
I know what you mean.
Like open. Two rooms.
Did you have sex while you were away?
Just once because I got my period.
Got it, girl.
I really got my period.
Did the sex ignite the period?
Probably.
It's weird.
Actually, I didn't really, here's the thing.
My sex often makes my period come the next day.
It's semen.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know, but like it's so weird. It's like sometimes just like it like makes it come. Like if it's late and it isn't there, or if it's coming anytime soon, sex will be like, I'm like, oh, here we go. Not every time.
Vacation with children is, I would not say, a sexy, like it's not like a sexual experience. I would say you're not thinking about like, you're not like, ooh, I can't wait. It's not very sexy. Like it's a lot of mom. I actually laughed at how many times they would say mom in like a series of just, and that nothing in particular. I actually had to take a time out and put myself outside. I'm like, I cannot answer. If you need sunscreen again, they would all ask me. And I'm like, the answer is yes. Just put it fucking on. And there's a lot, and no dad. I'm like, does anyone want to say dad in this house? Anybody? Taylor, do you want to say dad? Do you?
Sometimes I think they're so used to not asking, but I honestly think they don't trust dad's opinion as much. Like, even if they were to ask, they'd need to double check with mom.
We're a fucking habit. There was an interesting dynamic I had to explain, and I had to be very careful sexually how actually I talked a lot about sex and because they asked, and Chloe was like, well, that was awkward. And I was like, well, what do you want the answer to? And she's like, well, it's better than the last talk you gave. I'm like, well, okay. So there was a much, much, much older man with a much, much younger female. And
give us your guesstimates of age just so we can get visuals.
Probably like 83 and 83 and maybe 40.
Wow.
Or maybe 38, 40, 42. Within between 38 and 45, okay? Within that range. No, didn't seem to have children.
Okay.
And
was she a hottie?
Well, I was walking by. They were Spanish, or she was Spanish. She didn't talk. And because she was translating for, I don't know what was going on. But when your kids see something, they basically watch and they can't, they stop and watch. And I'm like, keep on going. And she had his hand in like basically his penis, like while they were talking to like a worker, like about maybe getting like a timeshare. I don't know what they were doing, but
were they sitting down?
Yeah.
Okay.
And she was like basically on top of him. Okay. And my kids were like, well, how do you know that's not the daughter? And I'm like, you don't touch like that.
Yeah.
Like that's not how you and your dad would touch as adults. Like you might sit on your dad's lap as 7, but you're not sitting on your dad's lap as an adult. Like if you are, we maybe need to have a conversation about that, but that's not what we do.
Like that dance teacher.
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Oh my God. So then later on, we come down to the beach and he's sitting in a chair and it's kind of dead. It was dead at the time I went, and she's bouncing around in a bikini, dancing for him to the DJ that's going like a private dance.
So good. And what was he like?
Sitting there.
Was he smiling even?
I don't even know if he was awake.
Oh my God, this is so
and
good.
So she's like jumping.
I don't even know if he was awake.
Yeah, like maybe it was nap time, but she's like trying to entertain him. And it was so hard to explain because I didn't want to judge that, like, you know, like, because they were kind of confused about the match of them together. And I was just trying to be like, well, we don't know the circuit. It was such a hard conversation to not put judgment into the thing. But he's just sitting there kind of like hunched over, and she's like bouncing, dancing, like woo, like her own party, like entertaining him. And I was like,
so fun.
And I mean, the sun took it out for us, so I can't imagine he must have been white. Maybe she put him to bed and went back out again because he was exhausted.
Did you see them again?
Yeah, we saw them walking around. Like, and another time he was like carrying a bag and he was like shuffling. I'm like, oh God, put him to bed. The poor man, put him to bed. He looked so nap time, you know.
I was watching these like channels, these things that I watch, and this interview was with she was a submissive and he was the master, and they had been together for 20 years.
Oh, lovely.
He looked like
maybe that was their case too.
Old man lawyer.
Okay, same accountant.
So conservative. He was in a suit in the interview, and she's like a hottie, and she's got a red it's like pleather dress, but it's like really nice. Like she's very like sexy, but like nice looking.
Okay.
And they have kids, and basically like, cause they're like really open about talking like about their sexual and how like dark their sex life can be. And like in the daytime, they're just like, she's like, I'll just be in the kitchen. The only thing really that the kids would ever notice is I have to ask, like, can I go to the store? In the beginning of the interview, can I speak? But other than that, she seemed like a pretty
liberal,
like the liberal
feminist.
woman. Yeah, like not feminist, I don't know, but like,
strong.
Yeah, strong woman. And so I was wondering, so I didn't watch the whole interview, but she was like, when the children aren't home, she's like, and we're in the bedroom. And at that time, is when
so she's a submissive her entire life.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
Even when they're not having sex.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Yeah. Anyways, she did tell her story. There was a time that she was like, I think she was like a prostitute before and living on the streets and stuff like that, but really got the opportunity with this man and they fell in love, and she's had a great life since. But when she was saying like, the real submissive and dominant stuff is like in sexually is something I've always really liked, and people,
not you,
no,
her.
Yes. She's like, I used to be with guys and I wanted them to do things and they just thought I was weird and dark and all this. And she's like, when I met him, he just loved it and it made me feel so comfortable. So I didn't watch the whole thing, but when she says like dark sexual stuff, what is she talking about? Dark.
Yeah, probably close to death. Like choking, smothering, spitting, probably pulling around on a chain, probably tied up, and then
I was trying to look at her body to see if she had any injuries.
Gagged,
and he just loves doing that to her.
Yeah. He does. Yeah, and he probably feels a lot of. Listen, the bedroom shit is so fucked up that I can't believe it's such a big part of our life, and that to explain it to like children, like, and what they have access to like porn and shit. I'm just like, it's so crazy, because the only way you learn about that is by watching it and then being turned on by it, because otherwise how would you know that world existed, unless it's so instinctual to be choked or to be whatever, that then you do that. And then, we actually know someone who, their partner wanted them to constantly choke them, and they were like, enough choke. Like, I don't want to keep choking you. Can we just have sex?
Can we just make a little love?
Can we just like, can I pump a few pumps?
Yeah.
And then, cause it would be a lot to have to be such an aggressor
and not just like have normal sex.
Yeah. I guess we're very lucky.
Yeah. And then
that we sexually are compatible with
you and me.
Yeah.
I know.
With our partners. Cause like, we complain about not wanting a lot, but at the end of the day, it's not like we're so far off on different pages. Although I don't know, maybe if I was like, let's put a mask, like a leather mask on me, and I should ask him. Well, I'm not doing it.
Well, if you do it, then let me know. I'll do it too. Like, I'll do anything you do, but don't do anything without me. Do you know what I'm saying?
Wait. Oh my God. Can you? No.
And then there was an interview with a nymphomaniac, and she's like, I just need it all the time. And I can just go on an app and I can meet up with someone and I can just do it. But like, I need to do it mostly like, I have some regulars that I can go back to, but I really like just meeting up with like random. And she's just like, I just love it. I need it. Like I need food.
Sex. So she's an addict.
She's a nymphomaniac. That's what she said.
Just with anybody.
Yes.
With a stranger.
Yes. She goes on apps. She's like, it's really easy. You just like put your location.
She's like a man, a gay man, like the gay man. From what we know of the 3 men we've talked to who go on the apps constantly, I don't see how that's safe as a woman to constantly go. You couldn't do it. I think men accuse women of cheating way more than, okay, bear with me here for a second. Men probably think, because they want to sleep with so many women, that we would have the same opportunity, because if they want it that much, like, how do I put this? It's like even if we could go on apps and do it, it's not safe for us to go. It's not safe as a woman to go do it. So it's not even in our realm, but they would never think that way because they've never had to think about it, where you go out and you're like, I'll have to let you know where I'm going. This is my location. I'm sharing it with you because I might not come back. Like, that's not the opportunity for most women, unless you're packing heat and you're walking into a place being like, I'll sleep with you, but is this a safe situation? I don't know.
But you know what I'd like to do is I would like to go like, bring your kid to work day.
Yeah.
I'd like to go to work with her one day, even though it's not work. I just want to follow her for a day and just see like how satisfying it is. What's so satisfying about it? Like every time after, because she'll do it like sometimes multiple times a day with different people.
Sorry, what?
Yeah. So I'm like,
does she work?
She must make money. She wasn't homeless.
Is it with the same people?
No. Sometimes she has people she can just call up and go back to. But she's like,
okay, I'm just gonna think here for a second. Okay,
I know.
So
it's lunchtime. You have a lunch break.
I'm sitting here right now, and I'm like, okay, I'm single, and I'm like this. I have a lunch break. I have 3 hours before I have to pick up the kids. Am I going on Tinder? Hold on, I'm gonna really go here for a second. Am I going on an app? Nope.
Oh, I didn't think you were gonna say yes. By the way.
I was just thinking, like, would I like just go and then have to get in an Uber or a car?
No, but you're not a nymphomaniac.
And then drive there. And then get undressed and hope that they have good breath. Hope that they're clean. Hope that they don't have anything funky going on down there. And then put a condom on and then roll around and
get dressed, leave,
have ejaculation everywhere.
See, that's another thing. I bet there are moms like this.
Who what?
Do that.
What? Roll around.
Yep. Before pickup.
Just with strangers.
Yep.
Strangers.
Yep.
Strangers.
Yep. There's special apps for that.
Sorry. There's lunchtime mom apps. You're telling me? You're lying.
She doesn't say she's a mom, but she's like, I've got an hour. I'm in this location. Because there's specific.
Well, you know this or this is a lie?
No, there are specific apps for people for hooking up at any time. I don't
for moms?
know. Well, a mom is just a woman.
But they have to be done by 3:00.
Well, I have an hour window. So you go in and you have
So
no
there's not a
schedule.
mom app. Like it's not a 9 to 3 app.
No. No. I mean, not that I know of.
We should make one. 9 to 3.
I mean, we could make anything, but who would really participate?
You're telling me people.
No. So I'm saying women would do this, but I want to know like there's a mom that does it.
Oh, you're saying, okay. You're saying for sure there's someone.
For sure.
Okay. Is she single?
There's both.
Okay.
Single and not single moms.
Okay.
Why can't we meet up with them?
Because they're not probably wanting to share that they're going to Pound Town before they go get to the town to get their kids.
Everybody, we need to share. We need to share these stories.
I mean, I do know someone who I
Do tell.
I took their kid for a play date, and she thanked me. Said I got some booty while
I
he
know.
took.
I love that.
I love that for her.
I love that.
Yeah, she was single,
Yeah.
and she's like, I thank you for having my child. I had a great afternoon.
And it was like a Sunday.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
I mean, yeah, that's great. I mean, that should be a thing too. You should do that for your single mom friends, guys. Take their kids so they can go to Pound Town, so they can go on dates on the weekends and have a little Pound Town.
I don't have a lot of single friends, but for the ones that I do, it's like she's not into it. I'm like, come, do
Not
it
even
for
a little
me.
bit?
I'm like, well, definitely not that. Definitely not yet.
Dating?
Not just like hooking up, like going and meeting someone. But I'm like, I would love to have a friend to help do that.
Right. Drop your kids. Go have a fun night. Go have a fun
And
afternoon.
tell me, come back, let's have a glass of wine and tell me everything that happened.
Tell me everything.
Every detail.
Every detail. I was away, like I just said, and I was just thinking, and this is such a good mom truth because it's so the truth. There was 6 women who were clearly on a girls' trip, and the men get such a bad rap for talking about females and like their sexual stories.
Yeah. They were talking about sex?
Women are so far worse than any. You put
What were they talking about?
Well, the kids were in the water with Mark, so I went to go grab something and came back, and I could hear them the first way walking in. They were talking about their libido, just being like, "My libido is not the same. I thought it was early menopause. Like I thought it was my hormones."
Did they not know you?
No, that
Low libido married women? How do you not know us?
So they're like good, like talking and like maybe they were just all like they were, but they were not talking quiet, okay? And they were just like, my libido, I just have no sex drive. Like it's not what it used to be. And I'm like, what is it? I wanted to sit down and pull up, and they're all literally all talking about their sex. Okay, so I'm like, this is hilarious that they're talking about their low libidos, their non-sex drive, being in perimenopause, or so they thought, but maybe it wasn't. It was just their hormones being off, or maybe it was this thing they were taking, like all of these conversations. And then they started talking about dick, and I was just like,
tell me more.
I had to walk back again, and they were just talking about the different dick they've had. And I was just like,
you should have ditched your family and hung with them for the afternoon.
I just thought to myself, I was like, if men...
Like what kind of different dick? What are they saying?
Well, it was a walk in and a walk out. Like it wasn't like I could sit and park my ass beside them. But I
think I would have ditched my family and been with them.
Just to me, and then they all got up and went in the water, and I was like, just for me to hear women so open about their sex lives, because I can't imagine how many men, a lot of these submissions we get on this podcast are how many women just aren't in the mood, or how their partner is not doing it for them. Like they're not sexually compatible, or their men are lazy and they're giving a lot and getting nothing back. And I thought, I wonder how many men want to have sex but feel like their partners don't want to have sex, so they don't know what to do, but all the females are talking about it rather than talking about it with the men. It's like the men need to go have the conversations, or they need to listen to the podcast of the women so they can understand what the women are feeling, because universally there seems to be a big conversation that women are having, but men aren't joining in on to understand that it's not, then they're personalizing it, being like, it's a problem in our relationship, but you're like, no, it's my fucking hormone. Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah. But yes. I'm not down for talking about it.
With your husband.
Fuck.
I'm saying no, they should go do the research though.
Yes.
Men should all sit together and talk like women are talking about, so if our our husbands joke about not wanting, like they won't ever want to have sex. But then imagine one of their friends, doctor friends came. It's like, actually, sometimes our hormones change after babies. It's not you. Just imagine the conversation these men could have.
Yeah.
About their dicks and about their hormones and about the females. They should really stop talking about sports. Really start talking about our vaginas like we talk about their dicks.
They're beautiful, beautiful dicks.
No, they should just really get into the conversation of more vagina. They need to stop talking about the football plays and really, there should be like a maybe 30-minute catch up of sex lives and vagina and how's it going.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I don't think there's a lot of men out there doing research on how to please my wife the way she wants it.
I know.
No.
But
yet so many people read this book. What was that book that everyone reads about how to give a blowjob?
How to tickle his pickle.
Every woman seems to know about it or read it.
You know what we could do? We could make a quiz. Like a love language quiz. Sex language quiz.
Sex language.
Then your sex language is like it's a link, and then you do it, and then you send it to your partner, and then you send up your synopsis of your sex language, and then they're like, "Oh, this is your," because we talked about sex languages on here before. You know your sex language. Bunch of money on the bed, and then you just like hard $100 bills. Then you jump on there naked.
Yeah, like money's really dirty. So
no, it's clean. It's just right off the press.
Fresh money.
It's a bit warm.
Yeah, money, or just like, oh my gosh, so much money just flew into the bank account. I'm happy, I feel safe, and I feel horny.
Yeah, but you can't get that every day.
No.
Can you?
Oh, no.
Maybe get day trading going.
Yeah, exactly.
And then
I'll make myself horny by day trading.
Yeah. Yeah. Your sex language was something else, by the way. It wasn't just, was it just, that's your love language money, but then you have is maybe they're both.
Sex language is, I really like the idea of strangers. What were you going to say? Stranger.
You know, Natalie.
Like, I don't even want to do it with anyone twice.
Yeah, but you have a husband.
In my fantasy.
No, I'm talking about real sex languages.
Oh.
Like real ones. Real.
I'm not sure yet.
Like a real one.
I'm not sure yet.
Ding dong, ding dong. That's not the ding, 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 ding. I'm gonna think about this for you. Vacation's not even a love language for you, huh? Sex? No. You're not feeling horny when you go on.
Yeah, I do it there, but
no. Are you like, yeah, let's go away and have sex?
No.
Okay.
I'm like, let's go away.
What about a day rate at a hotel for you?
Yeah.
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 That would be okay. We're getting somewhere.
Yeah.
A spontaneous sex is your sex.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
He picks you up and he's like, we're going to a hotel.
Yeah, I'd totally just do it. Don't tell him this.
I'm not. Well, it's an expensive habit. That's an expensive sex language to have once a week to be driving to the fucking Fairmont to get a goddamn boner.
I mean, maybe it could be a cheap motel.
Maybe a Red Roof Inn, if you will.
If you will. Yeah, no, I had a friend in high school that...
they're kind of getting nice though these days.
Oh, are they?
Like Holiday Inns and shit. They're redoing it. They're kind of getting too nice for you.
But there is one that just looks revolting.
And that's...
You know that one on Church and Jarvis?
I think they do hour rates.
I think so too.
Would you want it there?
I don't know.
Like you and Mark, like where do you park? I don't think there's valet.
Not that one.
Okay.
But something like that.
You know, I would rather do anal after broccoli and bran.
I fucking watched that video.
Oh my God.
How to prep for anal.
Guys, I'm sorry. You need to listen to this for a second. So, you know, we have talked a lot about anal and a lot of people are like, I love anal. Anal's the best. Now, we get a talking backstage and they do, anal's a lot of work. And once someone made a comment who does anal a lot and was like, you know, it's not like the greatest for the person taking it. Like for the person getting it, it's like not that comfortable. You don't want it to last that long because it can hurt. And I'm like, excuse me, this is very pertinent information for all of us to know if you're telling us that as someone who actively does anal, that the receiver, it's not like a joyous occasion.
I don't know if that's always the case, by the way.
Okay. So then I come across a video. I said, Natalie, you have to watch this.
I didn't even watch it right after she sent it to me, but I'm laying in bed and I'm like, oh, okay, Because what you said along with it, I did not think that's what the video was going to be about.
She has to prep for a week. And she's like, you will, and you have to prep before just for fun because she's a worker. She does porn. And so when she's filming, she has to prep for a week. She has to not eat certain food. She doesn't go out. She does douches in her ass, and then she
doesn't recommend the enema, but she does
because you leak lots after.
And she's very much like, and then you really have to limit your eating on the day like before, like don't eat much.
Yeah, and then she said when you do, if you're doing it for fun, you have to be aware that there's gonna be shit. So be prepared for shit
and be with a respectful, mature person who understands like shit comes out of there. So don't be surprised. There might be shit in there.
There's gonna be shit that comes out.
She is talking about it like she is making a salad, and but it was so interesting to hear
because it was so
laborious
and so much work. And you have to have she has to eat certain foods before she does like the anal to make sure nothing comes out.
Lots of fiber
and starches,
carbs,
lots of carbs. Yeah. So
and then she sometimes you can take a stool like a stool
she does a stool hardener
because she's like I don't think it would be good every couple of weeks to take like a laxative. I don't think it would be good for your body.
Yeah, no. So she can't. So on film days she really hunkers down, and then when it's for fun she just makes sure that the partner knows there's shit coming out.
Yeah,
so
she does like a day prep for her partner.
A day prep. That's outrageous. When I saw that, because that's the first time someone's really gone in step by step what to do to get ready for anal.
And I understand for work why you do so much, but like, don't people just like, they're having sex and then they just do anal? Shouldn't it just be like, if it has such preparation, and what if you prepare and then you don't get in the mood or don't want to do it? Now you haven't had those onion rings you wish that you would have eaten.
I think if you're prepping for anal, you're having anal. If you're prepping, you're doing like,
that's like a kind of thing that like moms should do.
Oh, prep for anal?
Because then they're guaranteed to follow through.
Well, I'll prep my vagina. I'm not like prepping for, like I can barely prep my lunches for my kids and dinners. If you think I'm prepping
I need to prep my vagina for sex.
Exactly. Yeah. But I'm just saying, but if I did, then I'd commit.
Yeah. Oh,
do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, so
or maybe we should prep our bungholes.
No. I cannot, that would be so, if I had to prep for 2 days just to think about anal that night that I may not be in the mood for because it might be tired or a kid might get sick or I might get gassy.
I was also wondering, for gay men, what if they get hemorrhoids like on the regular?
I think then you're a top. We're going to have to talk about that one. What if you
and your partner start both getting hemorrhoids? I think you can have them removed. Okay. Surgically removed.
Okay. So then you go get surgery.
I guess so.
Wow. Well, thanks for joining us on this Friday podcast. That was a lot to cover, from wanting a boner to how to prep for anal.
See you guys next Friday.